Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Sylvester Onye, President of American Veterans of Igbo Descent, AVID. We're here today at Capitol Hill after going to the press club where we had this morning assembled to discuss the issues of Sharia, the recommendations of Cole and Larimore, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. So we're here to discuss about it and to encourage Donald Trump to act on it. Now, after we finished that, we moved on to Capitol Hill where we met with the newly appointed DOS by our leader Nnamdi Kanu, Chris Morgan. Congratulations, Chris, for coming along. AVID is 120% behind you. Go ahead and take care of our people. Do what DOS is supposed to do for our people. Also, please have you here with us today in Washington.
Igbo mnuze Moses Kwankonyechiri yazelo tabu bochongo makobochi laboro ebe akwa. Nigeria is about to break. Tinubu is about to fall in again because there has been a suit against the Nigerian government over refusals of court order stated that they should release Nnamdi Kanu. International courts are now being serious with the Nigerian government. Well, I'm Honorable who got the good news all over the internet that the new appointed DOS that Nnamdi Kanu will appoint in the US White House and the Mike Ahmad, all of them are in the US White House, talking about the release of Nnamdi Kanu and how to get things done. Please, I would love you to pay serious attention to this video and make sure you subscribe to this channel because we have a lot of good news coming up this period.
Thank you very much for continuing the support on this platform where I raise pertinent issues on African affairs. I have been very, very consistent on the question of a country or countries adhering to the court orders that are issued by international courts or are issued by local courts, because that's the only way to build our institutions that need to be firm in order for a better Africa. I will address you on the question of a country called Nigeria. I have no personal feelings against anyone in Nigeria except those who break the law. Sometime in 2021, under the administration of President Buhari, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu was abducted at night, renditioned out of African country without the knowledge of that African country, without the authorities knowing, against all international obligations, taken out of Kenya, removed, manhandled, beaten, molested, and delivered in commando style, Gestapo style, into Abuja. The government where he was abducted from did not know until they had reports. However, most of us sprang to action later on.
Please, before we continue with the video, do us a favor by clicking on your subscribe button.
We have gone to African courts of peoples and human rights to put our cases, to put the case of Nnamdi Kanu. He was charged, trumped up charges of terrorism and other things that were heaped, where evidence was corrupted, because some of the people who handled the evidence, as you know, Nigeria at the moment is a mixture, a cocktail of terrorists, some of them who have repentant terrorists who have joined the government, working as intelligence officers. From 2021, a court in Kenya issued a judgment calling for the return of this gentleman from Abuja back to Nairobi. The government of President Buhari, as you know, came to an end. He handed over power to Tinubu, and Buhari later on died. The baton of handing over and implementing this order remains up to today in terms of international law in the hands of President Tinubu. Mr. Nnamdi Kanu should have not gone under any judgment or under court process anywhere, because the procedure of him being delivered there was wrong. You all know what the judge in Nigeria mentioned. A useless judge. I think God only is the one who can determine his destiny, not me. Things went, we have gone, and the lawyers of Nnamdi Kanu, plus many other people, most of us have not kept quiet. We have petitioned the British government. We have asked the government of Britain to intervene, because Mr. Nnamdi Kanu was a British national at the time of his arrest or rendition from the third country to another one of the Commonwealth. We have written to the Commonwealth. We have written to every angle. We wrote, we filed, the lawyers filed a case in the United Nations Court of Arbitrary Arrest against arbitrary arrest.
Please, before we continue with the video, do us a favor by clicking on your subscribe button.
The judgment was entered, and the government of Nigeria was told by that opinion, which is well grounded in law of international law and aspect of the performance of any nation that is under United Nations Charter, to implement. The government of Nigeria to date, as we speak, by the time we went yesterday to courts or to notify them, have not answered back, they went ahead, convicted Mr. Nnamdi Kanu to life in prison. It is the same thing they did to the 10 naira. They worked with Paul Biya, got this gentleman. You can see it is the same nation. Cross-border incursions onto an ICC organization where refugees have gone. A crime committed by Nigeria again, which the chief prosecutor of International Criminal Court should have reported Nigeria to the International Criminal Security Council for having allowed its territory to be used by people who came to abduct refugees under the Geneva Convention. He didn't do that. Now, Nigeria, the judgment came out, the opinion was very clear, release Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, return him, make reparations for him, and make it good so that he returns, he can face justice. But this was not the proper way to abduct a person at night, take him, fix him, release him. The Nigerian court refused. Nigerian court also ordered that this should not be the same. One court ordered, they took him to another court, they removed him to another court, they took him back to the other court until it became very toxic. In a nutshell, the opinion of the United Nations Court of Arbitrary Arrest is very clear. It needs enforcement. And the people have not been able to take these steps that I have taken yesterday. And yesterday I've been searching for what the court would ask me, what do you want to be done? I have searched, got all the documents regarding the Nigerian embassy, the properties that they have in the United Kingdom, so that when it comes to reinforcement or enforcement through any other means, we shall get those properties. So I've been doing that homework voluntarily until now. We got yesterday, on behalf of Pan-African Forum and associates, many of us who studied international law, experts of us who are very fluent. We do it for the sake of Africa. We do it for Bourbono. We use our resources. We have not asked anyone to give us a penny. We have done it, and I've done it myself, because this young man needs help, and we shall get that help through the courts. We have filed the final notes, the final nets before litigation. We have served the Nigerian government yesterday, and they have received it. in the Ministry of Justice, and the government of Britain also copied, and other courts. Therefore, next move we shall move is litigation of why the order was not implemented. Why the orders of the court were not implemented. Why is it 2 orders? You remember, the Kenyan court is still waiting. They gave even the damages for a man who had been just harassed. They didn't know that somebody had used their territory to do some dubious mafia work, which Mr. Leti Buhari, may his soul go completely away from earth, and no history should be written for him ever on earth, because he overthrew the government. The first one pretended to be a Democrat. He even abducted Umar Diko. We know this. Some people in Africa don't know this history. This man abducted Umar Diko in London. All of us went there when we were in London. We went and saw a plane. Everybody on TV was shocked. And Buhari. These people from that country, Nigeria, abduct people. They kill people. They abduct if they find you. So any country in the world dealing with Nigeria, using Nigerian intelligence to say you are putting a case like this case of Finland, a government in Finland. Which intelligence are you using, you Finland? This fake one, the one where they get AI videos and place them here. No competent court in Europe. And I'm waiting for that case of Simon Epa. I want to earn international fame for defeating them on that case in the European Court of Human Rights. I'm waiting for you. I'll not leave. I don't tell me don't do this, don't do for this. I am not. You don't employ me. I make my decision to defend the people. I defend the people for their rights. You cannot lock up a man when you have used the wrong intelligence of Nigerian government, where government has got terrorists inside. Where did they get this evidence? Corrupted. Now they are planting things because the appeal is coming. We are ready for you. We have been ready. The other time it was the people from Europe who present, but this time we are many of us voluntarily. We shall pour in that courts. In all courts, we are going to pour in courts. Mr. Tinubu, listen, adhere to the court orders, release this guy. Whichever format you use, whether you pardon him, whether you release him, it's up to you. But me, we have now got all the data of your properties in London. We are gonna get it. Watch my leaves. Let me remove the glasses. We shall get it. The law here is very clear. Ask Paul Obiya whether he can come to have medicine in London. Give Paul Obiya 2 planes to fly in. And you ever, even you're coming to London recently, we had to waiver. We had to be asked to waiver for you not to be touched. Otherwise, our summons were ready. So do the right thing. You have gone to school. You are not like Buhari. You have gone to school. You are not a soldier. Release this guy. Let's not get bad name in the Commonwealth, bad name everywhere, bad name Nigeria. There is this woman called, there is a woman in the UN called Dr. Amina Mohammed. You, that lady there, you live in the UN, the same institution you preside over. You don't, someone has refused to adhere to the UN court. And then you say you are from Nigeria. I'm Assistant Secretary General, my foot. You are one of the most, in fact, your data, when I start throwing it around, you will not like it. Because I am very pissed off with some of the people from this country, especially those who get leadership. They don't speak for their people. Another one in Britain that I am conservative. She's not speaking for her own people. We have to speak for you. Another one in the WTO, she doesn't speak for her people. You also in the UN, you don't. I am coming for you people.
A lot of you might not even really understand what has been going on in the background. Well, it has been a good news and it has been a fruitful week, since this week. I like to say it's been a fruitful week anyway, because there have been an improvement. Since Nnamdi Kanu made a point this new DOS, and new changes. I am a working government. Yes, there has been a working government there. We have seen people who are holding accountable to the action and people who are actually really working for the betterment of the Biafra and the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And they are taking it to every extent. And today, there is a video that surfaced, where they were and the avid, yes, the avid in Gahanokwa, na the White House, with the Rally Moore, Michael Amor, and the rest of them, talking and making moves on how to get Nnamdi Kanu released, which is the most important cause right now, because enwelakwa ọ dị aka nọkwa na mmiri ọlaruhokwe, meaning that as going to every good ni Biafra anyị na and Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ka nọkwa na nga anyị nwere chaboko nwanyị so enwela ọ dị aka nọkwa na mmiri ọlaruhokwe, so ọ ga-aka ma ịhụgoro na enwe afụgoni any other thing yani asa agagoni. So I believe within few weeks or a month time, the whole scenario might not be sudden, but it's going to be a gradual process. We will get there. Meanwhile, the international court has already come out to say that and you're Nigerian government, because these people are trying to cajole with us. They are trying to play a jamboree game with us, and we don't want it that way, which means they are filing a class action for the Nigerian government, because Kenya court nyere order that you people should return Maazị Nnamdi Kanu to Nairobi, where you people kidnapped him from. And the Federal High Court already in Umuahia have already said that who release the Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, unu ga-enye a sum of 1 billion and the other amount help provided. The court nọkwa na Abuja agwakwunu tunu hafuni this man enwe homenu sunu grant ya ni hafuni ya kolani unu ejishikwe ya kike release kwe ya unu kwa di DSS ejishi ya kike. So, and if the court, which is the last hope of every common man, could not protect its obligation, then I don't know what we are fighting in the country, because there has been a lot of similar cases all over the country, not only about Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, but some other political figures where the court will say la DSS ejije mo aga la, then court eji politics maybe say everything. But at the end of the day, court is not even upholding what they are being made for. But well, during the time of late President Muhammadu Buhari, the court was also standing a bit firm, despite it was not really fair to the judgment of Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. But at least in some other cases, and to an extent, there have never been any rascality the way it's been going on in this Tinubu's regime. Yes, always moto me form or but at least it's high time that we begin to speak out the truth, because that's the okuko maka heji area mba kamoka or one role. So most times we have to speak up to the power, speak the truth, so that the world, the universe, we know that there was been a time this thing is said. Half them on. Then if we look at the rascality that's been going on in court of today, then they can that the Tinubu government is one of the worst of them all. Because court will give order many here do to then the DSS AGJ, which is not proper. Then the court, which has been assumed to be the last hope of every common man, is not serving what is being made for. Then do you blame them? No, because Tinubu is the one who appoints them, so they are not going to work against their master. And the FCT minister, yes, on weekend is building houses for all the whole judges. So what do you expect? You can't be ungrateful to the master. That's the simple truth. And we believe that in sooner than no time there will be a changes. Yes, again we changes, because the AVID and the new DOSS are working underground, and not only they are working really underground, because some things open for the public to know. And very soon, and the release of Maazị Nnamdi Kanu will be secure appropriately. We'll share your own opinion in the comment section, and don't forget to share this video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you and God bless.